Chapter 178. Spirit Soil. Just don't destroy his body when you take revenge. Ying Kun did not care at all. He only needed his body to nurture elites. Fairy Ziyu, if you want to take revenge, now is not the time. We are going to break the formation. If you are interested, you can join us. When the time comes, we will split the treasures according to how much effort we put in. We're temporarily cooperating with Sky Demon Cult, so we won't be collaborating with you guys. Ziyu took a deep look at Song Shi before turning to leave. She did not reject him because of Song Shi. It was mainly because this ruin was so big that there was no need for the three factions to join forces. Song Shi looked at Ziyu and thought to himself, this woman is worth befriending. Back then, when I helped her from her nascent soul, she really treated me as her benefactor. TSK, you have another enemy now. Lu Youayu crossed her arms and gloated. It has nothing to do with you. Song Shi turned around and walked into the distance, arriving at the area that had become a mess because of the battle. The original herb garden was in tatters. The Heavenly Poison Sect and Yi family both suffered heavy casualties. In the end, the Yi family did not manage to snatch back the 10,000-year-old ginseng. Now, their aura was extremely weak from all their losses. The people from the Heavenly Poison Sect did not gain much. The two sides temporarily stopped fighting because they were on guard against each other. When they sensed Song Shi approaching, the people on the periphery glared at him fiercely. Continue. Song Shi smiled and stood at the side. Yi Wenzhong ignored him and glared at the perfected Lord of 100 Poisons. All right, old Poison, I will admit defeat today. You'd better keep a lookout for us in the future. With a gloomy face, he left with his own people, leaving behind the corpses of a few rogue cultivators who had no relatives or friends behind. Of course, the valuables on these corpses must have been plundered already. You're threatening me. Ridiculous. The perfected Lord of 100 Poisons looked at their two dead elders and frowned slightly. Bring the corpses along. The group of people also left quickly. At that moment, Song Shi patted the blood belt on his waist. A circle of sanguine light was released and landed on the rogue cultivator's corpse. The flesh essence was immediately absorbed by the quasi-numinous artifacts. Some people sneered and could tell that this was the blood-robed old ghost's trademark method. They further confirmed in their heart that Song Shi was the blood-robed old ghost. Wasn't this blood-robed old ghost quite impressive in the past? Now, has been reduced to picking up corpses. How? Is that really the vicious blood-robed old ghost? Kid, are you mute? Lai Yu was initially angry because of Song Shi's words. Seeing that he did not do anything to help and actually ran to collect someone's corpse, she rolled her eyes. I think he's crazy. Faced with the ridicule, Song Shi was expressionless as he walked to the herb garden. He formed a seal and pointed at the ground. A ball of brilliant light was pulled out of the soil. This was a piece of greenish-black soil that was only the size of a fist. But it contained abundant spiritual energy and some mysterious power. Indeed, there's something that's at least comparable to numinous artifacts. These fellows don't know the array formation and layout. They were actually picking up sesame seeds and throwing away a watermelon. Picking up sesame seeds and throwing away a watermelon is a Chinese phrase that meant that one had sacrificed bigger and better opportunities due to being too short-sighted. Song Shi was proud. Compared to directly obtaining the Black Ice Jade token, being able to find something others could not was better. Spiritual soul. Damn it. There's actually divine soul here that's even more precious than 10,000-year-old ginseng. I was wondering why this guy ran over like a dog. So it's because he was targeting the treasures here. The few people who were mocking Song Shi just now were dumbfounded on the spot. It turned out that they were the stupid ones to not have discovered the real treasure here. Spiritual soul was a low-level breathing soul that carried a strand of divinity. It was able to absorb the essence of the heavens and the earth to grow. Of course, this growth rate was very slow. It might not grow much in 10,000 years, but it could change the soil and turn normal soil into spiritual soil, thereby promoting the growth of various spiritual herbs. The spirit soil in front of him was the core of the medicinal field, and it was also an important factor in the growth of the 10,000-year-old ginseng. It could be said that with this spiritual soil, it could quickly produce a high-grade spiritual field and grow all kinds of medicinal herbs. It was definitely very precious to large factions. The perfected Lord of 100 Poisons and the Yi family had ugly expressions. Neither of them noticed the spirit soul at the bottom of the medicinal field, and thought that the 10,000-year-old ginseng was created by time. Kid, I don't care if you're the blood-robed old ghost or not. If you know what's good for you, hand over the spiritual soil. A large amount of golden light appeared in front of Sanshi, and an oppressive aura crushed down on him without hesitation. Yu Wenzhong stood in the air, like a god that had descended to the mortal world. His eyes were like torches, domineering and fierce. Whoosh, whoosh, they family's golden core realm cultivators moved with the wind and surrounded Sanshi, blocking his escape route. Hand it over. This belongs to the Yi family. The people from the Yi family crossed their arms. Their gazes were hard and the corners of their mouths contained a cold smile. They had been taken advantage of by the old poisonous creature from the heaven demon sect just now and thought that they had suffered a huge loss. In the end, this person dug out the spirit's soul, making them suffer an even bigger loss. If they could retrieve it, the value of the spiritual soul would be higher than that of the 10,000-year-old spiritual ginseng, and their losses would be compensated. Under the threat of the powerhouses, Sanshi calmly put away the spiritual soul and released a circle of blood light. You have a death wish. Seeing that not only did Sanshi not obediently hand over the item, but he even dared to attack, anger jumped out of Yu Wenzhong's eyes on the spot. Behind Sanshi, a middle-aged man with sunken eyes had a dark gaze. He held a long sword and Dharma treasures in his hand. His body flickered with golden light and his skin turned golden as he stabbed out with his sword. The golden edge of the sword blade instantly broke through the bloodlight and stabbed into Sanchi's back. The sharp sword pierced through his chest and left a deep crack on the ground. This person was an elite of the Yi family. He had the golden bloodline and a deep foundation. Among those of the same level, only geniuses were his match. However, when he saw that his sword had pierced through Sanchi's heart, the other party did not even seem to dodge. He frowned slightly and his golden eyes were filled with suspicion. This must be a fake body. Don't be fooled. The people beside him thought that they had seen through Sanchi's tricks. Sure enough, in the next moment, the bloody figure turned into bubbles and disappeared. This is blood-robed old ghost's blood-seeker light. It seems that you've also cultivated the substitution technique. What you attacked just now was only a substitute formed by the blood light. The few of them voiced out their guesses. Their expressions became even more unfriendly as they stared at the blood light. The blood river squirmed and the smell of blood permeated the air. Indeed, another Sanshi appeared. It was unknown if it was real or fake this time, but it looked very real. Nomological powers surged around their bodies, blocking the demonic light that could transform into human flesh. They quickly took a step back. This step was 100 feet, and they began surrounding Sanchi's blood river in the middle. I can do it alone. It was still the same person who had attacked just now. He had a proud expression as he walked towards Sanshi with his sword. Domineering dharmic powers were released from his body like a tsunami, seemingly endless. Sanshi stood in the blood river and looked at the elite of the Yi family. He grinned, revealing his white teeth with a hint of mockery. He took a step forward and the blood light moved with him. With a bang, he also took the initiative to rush out. This guy really has a death wish. He still dares to attack after being surrounded by us. The people who were watching the show looked unhappy. This behavior was disrespecting them too much. Crack, the moment the blood red light and the golden light came into contact, a soaring sharpness slashed out. Sanchi's figure was sent flying with blood all over his body. His head and body were even separated. Sanchi died again, of course. In the eyes of the Yi family elites, the one who died was not really him.